So I got a 2004 Acura RL. It needs a fuel pump. So we're gonna go ahead and knock that out. He already bought his part, so we already know the rundown. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping it works here. So we'll see what exactly happens. The cover was already off of this when I got it. So I don't, somebody already been through it and played around with it, and I guess they lost interest. That's my assumption. Oh shoot. It's an hour labor to repair these. I need to find that. Where's that feed line? Okay, I got it. There we go. I worried, I thought I broke it. Alright, so we're gonna test this fuel pump real quick. I'm going to it looks really clean, like the fuel pump has been replaced before. I'm gonna jump this off and see if it works. Since I didn't diagnose this, so I'm gonna ground to the housing here and go into the plug in the back. Uh-oh. That ain't good for him. Pump's working. I'm gonna put a new one in there and cross my fingers that it worked. Again, I didn't diagnose it. He got it from this part from Napa. I think, no, CarQuest is Advanced Auto, right? Yeah, because CarQuest bought out Advanced Auto here. So we're gonna pull this out here. Just doing what I'm told. Fuel pump. Like this already been replaced, so I can just pretty much just snatch this off. This hose is fine here. They don't wear out. Yeah, these are aftermarket. So right there, take that off. I wish I had a little barb or something on there where it'll give you a little bit of peace of mind. These back up and see it don't start. I'll be pretty shocked if it does start. I mean, the fuel pump could have been weak or something. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Well, just like I figured it wasn't gonna start. Did what I was told. Let's see if you want to pay for a diagnosis. Let's see here. All right, we got the okay to diagnose this joker. What we're gonna do, we're gonna use this multimeter first, check for our good ground. So from what I understand, the customer tells me they went to a shop and God, they know they already assessed it, and unfortunately it was incorrect. So we're gonna see what we can do. This should be its last stop. Should be driving out this some bitch. Okay, let's see if we can get this out of there. Oh, I was pushing the wrong thing. Coffee high, man. That's all that is. All right, I'm gonna check for grounds first. I think this is it right here. We're gonna see. Let me find a good place to ground this. I'm on the right one. Okay. So yeah, we got 5.4 ohms. That's enough to. Let me find another source. Found behind the seat here. So that's sufficient ground there. Now we just need to check for power. So our power is going to be here on the opposite side. What I'm going to do, max. Let me go back and start over because I think I screwed it up. So we're going to put it on maximum here. Okay, and it should pull the maximum. Okay, so it measured 0.2 volts, which is not 12 volts. So what I'm going to do, well, we're going to go straight to that main relay. This is where we're going to be. So our yellow and black wire is what sends power to the fuel pump from our main relay, and it should be this one here. What I'm gonna do, I already checked the fuses, and the fuses are fine for the fuel pump. I'm gonna start it up and just beat on it. So our fuel pump relay is gonna be here right by the fuel pump, which is an awesome thing, unlike the older vehicles. So we're gonna make sure this is getting power, and power is getting sent out to the fuel pump. Here's a better view of it. This is our load wire here. This is what's going to our fuel pump. The red, I'm sorry, I saw red back there. The black and yellow is what's going to our fuel pump here. We're going to have 2 powers and 1 ground. Likely our green is going to be a ground here. Yellow is going to be power. Red is going to be power. So we should have power, ground, and one of those powers there are going to generate that magnetic field with the ground that's going to bring forth the connection from the power from our source up to our load there. So let me turn the key on. Obviously engine off, and I got my test light grounded here, and we're going to check the powers. Alright, oh boy. You heard that infamous sound, so we actually have 2 power. That's 1 power. And we don't have another power, so likely in the power is probably computer controlled, so that's what caused the power to get sent to the relay to prime the fuel pump. So there's our red and white, which is constant 12 volts, and I'm pretty sure this right here is what's going to be computer controlled here. So let's leave that there and find out. Our wires, our load is our yellow and black. That's what goes straight to our fuel pump. We already checked for ground. We got that. Our yellow wire comes from, it's a power source that comes from the main relay under the dash. Our green wire is the PCM. That's what grounds out the fuel pump. And then our red here and white is a load. Not a load, but a power. So I want to look for my powers here first, which is going to be red and white, which is attached to a fusible link. So red and white, we do have power. Now I got to activate the main relay for this to work, this yellow. So what I'm going to do, since I'm still on ground here, turn the key to run, or to start, and see if my test light illuminates. That's interesting. I wonder if it's because the disconnected car recognizes that it just started working. I have to look back at that wire diagram, see what the power source is mutually in common with. So, that's interesting. Because before it didn't work. Now it does. Alright, so I'm still going to check the relay here. We're going to check for adequate ground from the PCM. See if that's going to prime our fuel pump. I'm going to go from here. And here. Those are not contacting. Let's see what happens. So now we have a fuel pump prime there from the computer. You know what? I'm just gonna say that main relay is defective at this point, but I'm gonna see if the relay clicks and we have power coming out of here. So the computer is what sends the ground. This car, the keys on, engine off. I'm gonna supply ground. This test light should suffice. Yep, so it does support a ground. The relay is working. Just because it clicks doesn't necessarily mean it works. But I'm very confident that this is fine. I just don't want to overthink this. So we're gonna price a main relay. All right, so I got the main relay now, and I just had to look a little further in here because I was trying to figure out why in the world this car got two relays. And the only logical explanation I have here is the simple fact that the relay for the back is just going to be an amplifier, and I assume to take the load off the PGM FI main relay. But if you look at from what I'm thinking here, from what happened originally, there was just simply some connection issues right here at A2. And let's see here. So this one is like the ugliest circle. So A2 was not sending power out to our main our relay in the back going to the fuel pump. So that's why that yellow wire I initially checked did not have any power when I initially cut the key on and off. It kind of served itself useless simply because it didn't have a primary power source, but maybe they put it back there for ease access for diagnosing. I don't know. I didn't make this car. It seems useless when you look at it because all the other vehicles, the older cars had just one EFI relay, that sent power to the fuel pump. But I'm really thinking this was just there for boosting power for the fuel pump. So that green wire on number 4 here at the fuel pump relay, that was from the PCM. That's where that goes. If you follow it all the way over, I don't think it's going to show on here, but that winds up going to the PCM, and that's what sends the ground signal to magnetically control that mechanical relay. Red and white was our power. That was coming from the fuse box under the dash here. The yellow was merged with, let's see here, the black and yellow. And that's why when I disconnected, the fuel pump started working, despite it not being connected. So to answer my question. So I'm like, it's kind of useless. Like, it feed itself power. I don't know. You can see it there where it says fuel pump resistor on the left side. Maybe it helps stabilize the noise or something. That's supposed to be a noise reducer or something, but explanation I had was like it was for additional power, but it's still using its same power source. So just the thought there. So let's get this relay replaced. And so the other one has arrived. We're just gonna throw this joker right on in there and get it put back in. I mean, the car's running fine now. I mean, it starts right on up, but I'm pretty sure it could be better. What do I do with this box? I just simply got to go through a process of elimination. I'm not saying I'm assuming, but based on the best judgment call, I'm assuming this is going to be our problem here. Simply because I didn't have any power coming out this joker when... Yeah, the fuel is working now. So when I went to test the rear relay, and simply, when I was knocking it, you could hear it trying to start up. So it made sense. I second guess myself a lot. Gotta go up and down. these just sitting in there. Fuel pump is priming, is working. I didn't know this car had so many miles on it. That's 326,466 miles. That's a lot of miles. So I mean, in a way, I don't feel guilty, man. I did what I was told to do. The guy wanted a fuel pump put in there, and we were on the same page. It's in there. It didn't work, so had to take other measures. I do have a tendency to second guess myself a whole lot, and I'm sure that I'm just very confident that that was the case. I mean, those main relays were very prevalent in the older vehicles, but they did not have that same design, and those look a lot more confined, like they're in just a tight confined area. So I don't think the parts would have been that of any quality. I want to say they're not. I mean, I'm just going to. So that's why I was thinking that the relay in the back was just something like a booster. Just my thought. It was just straight up conjecture. But it was very common to go out. He did say he took the car to a shop or something, and somebody assessed it, and that's how they determined that the relay, not the relay, but the fuel pump was defective. That's why when I went back there, all that stuff was already pulled partially out. Not sure why they went through the process of replacing it, but being that this pump is brand new, I think that's probably what had happened. They put one in there and it didn't work, and I think they just gave up. I guess, I don't know, but this pump looks really good, and this is going into my random fuel pump pile that I keep. So, but it's fixed. It came in here not running, and with the new fuel pump, obviously it left with the new, is going to leave with the new fuel pump, but running. So it's fixed. We'll see how long it stays fixed, and if anything ever happened, I'll definitely update. But hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance on my work. See you on the next one.